Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. This morning, of course, we've been talking health a lot, but of course, we still have the conference happening in Guyana, the Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo 2024, where yesterday the Prime Minister actually spoke, and of course, they cut the ribbon, they opened the ceremony and the proceedings that are happening. We also have a whole state pavilion that's representing Trinidad and Tobago, various sectors of our state energy suppliers and NGC and their various companies that fall under them, and they've been attending and showing off in the expo as to, what we've been able to achieve so far. But also, more than that, they've been offering assistance to Guyana. And we have a MOU from what we learned yesterday to be able to help each other to supply and go forward using the technology as best as possible. We want to be able to make the entire thing renewable resources and all that good stuff. But this morning, we get a chance to head across to Georgetown, Guyana and check in with Sunil Lala because he's on the ground letting us know what's happening. Good morning to you, Sunil.
Hi, good morning, Rockers. How's everything in Trinidad?
So far, so good. I'm really curious as to what's happening in Guyana, though. Let me know how things are looking on the ground there.
Well, nothing much is happening right now because we're actually very early at the expo. Proceedings is going to start just about 9 o'clock today. So there isn't much going on at the moment. We are actually in the exhibition area. Just one of the exhibition areas, because there are about, as I told you yesterday, about 200 exhibitors. We are at the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries of Trinidad and Tobago. This is actually their booth. The Prime Minister, along with Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Stuart Young, would have toured this area with the Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali, yesterday. They would have visited. Just across here, we have the National Energy, Phoenix Park Gas Processors Limited, NGC, and just on the left of me, what you will be watching right now, is the 2023-2024 Shallow Water Competitive Bidding Round, where Stuart Young, the Minister, he would have actually promoted this bid round yesterday. These are actually the cream here, as you see around the Trinidad, is actually the bid rounds. And that's good. That's going to end sometime in May. I think it's May 27th. And they are promoting that just around here. The red are the gas fields, and the license block already are these here. So this is actually the shallow water blocks that the competitive bid rounds, and they are promoting that at the Guyana Expo at this current time.
Fantastic. Let me know a little bit about the highlights from yesterday, though. I mean, you mentioned this, of course, this bid round as one of the highlights, but what else took place yesterday that we should be noting?
Too much to note, but we did have the CARICOM Secretary General, Dr. Carla Barnett. She spoke about the region challenges as it relates to energy security. She said member states rely too much on imported oil, and she said that exacerbates the energy challenges tremendously. Dr. Rowley went on to speak about that as well, but he said, Caribbean energy economies like Guyana, TTT, Suriname, they are significant players in the energy market, and they must not shy away from beneficial opportunities. He said the region, what Dr. Carla said, Dr. Bennett, he went on to elaborate on that, saying CARICOM countries import 87% of their oil, and the global average is actually 21%. So that gives you an idea of how much we rely on imported oil, despite us having Trinidad, Guyana, Suriname as major oil-producing and gas-producing countries as well. Dr. Rowley talked about the cargo ferry service, the collaboration that we had between Guyana, Barbados, and TTT. He welcomed that regional collaboration, the development and the diversification of that. He talked about the economic development of TTT, which has been monetized by the country's oil and gas resources. He said that will continue for some time. The producer economies, he talked about the diversifying the energy production, the knowledge with oil and gas. He's willing to share that knowledge with member states, particularly Guyana and Suriname, to boost the energy industry. He said TTT is no stranger to the energy transition. He also talked about us having collaboration between countries, Guyana, Suriname, and other oil-producing nations to engage to strengthen the economy. He talked about the unitization agreements with Venezuela, Grenada, Barbados to allow for the exploration of these hydrocarbon resources in the maritime waters to be shared with these countries. Dr. Irfan Ali, the president of Guyana, he talked about the boom, the oil boom and the gas boom that we're seeing here in Guyana at this point in time. He said the energy unfolding in Guyana, there must be a simultaneous role of logistics and transport in building that economy. He spoke as well about what Dr. Rowley spoke about in terms of the cargo ferry service. He welcomed the move and he said that will provide tremendous help to Guyana and Suriname and TNT as well with regards to shipping and so on.
Nice.
He called on the private sector and he talked about the highway to Brazil as well.
Fantastic. Sunil, this sounds like a lot of information, and it sounds like a lot of Caribbean unity and conversations around bringing the Caribbean a little bit closer together, which we definitely give thanks for. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, giving us that quick update. We'll definitely check in with you again tomorrow to get another update as to what's happened today. I know that the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries is set to speak this morning as well, so we look forward to that conversation, and we'll chat again tomorrow morning. Eh?
Fantastic, definitely.
Thank you, Sunil. Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue the conversations here at the Now Morning Show, World Engineering Week is up next. Tash?
I'm so excited for this conversation this morning because in studio we have with us none other than Ian Cox, the Vice President of APETT, and also we have Ezekiel York, who is the PRO or Public Relations Officer. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Natasha. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure to have both of you here with us this morning. Now, this is so exciting because this, fondly known as E-Week, is something, if I'm not mistaken, came about in 1951.
It did.
And it's still going today.
Yes, it is still going today, going very strongly, and we are celebrating it because the intention is to try to bring enlightenment to the public of the work that engineers do, how we impact society, and really make society a more fulfilling place to exist in. And that has been happening for quite a long time. In fact, engineering goes back hundreds of years, as you would know. So at APETT, we try to bring that message forward, and we're using Engineering Week to educate persons, educate parents, educate students that engineering as a career is a significant pathway, a fulfilling pathway that they can take and really build a career that could carry them into different spheres of existence.
It's so true, and we need engineers, so the awareness is also necessary as well. Now, Ezekiel, I know there are a lot of things lined up for this week.
Yes.
Share with us, what can we look forward to?
Sure. So starting today, we're just practically kicking it off with doing some school visits. Because, of course, you know, apart from encouraging engineers to socialize, to come together, we also have to, encourage the young ones to get into engineering. So we're going to be visiting Daniel Institute of Learning. We're going to be talking to them about, a bunch of different things about getting into engineering, entrepreneurship. Then we're going to be continuing it off with some other school visits to Bishop Sandstead tomorrow, as well as to Queen's Royal College as well. And once again, we encourage any and all engineers, senior engineers who are just, including those who have just graduated, to go back to their alma maters and talk about, host these kinds of seminars and talk about and encourage these young engineers and these young students about the benefits and love of STEM and specifically engineering. In addition to that, we're going to be also hosting some technical seminars by Professor Sweet. That's going to be tomorrow. At the TTGPA office, that's near Hazley Crawford Stadium, followed by another technical seminar on non-destructive road testing or pavement testing by the Tobago chapter. That's going to be hosted virtually on Thursday. And then, to pretty much conclude things, we're going to be having a very fun social day. I'll let Ian talk about that on Saturday.
Yeah, the social day is to just bring engineers out. The civil division had one last year, December, brought a lot of engineers out, socialized. We want to do something a little bit more informal this time on Saturday, so we're going to be featuring the electrical division doing geocaching. Simple football, bringing refreshments, beach chairs, we hang out on the grass. Nothing too complicated. We just had carnival. I think we had enough of a lot of fanfare. So this is about getting persons to come out and interact with peers, because that's one of the things that has to happen at the association for engineers to enrich themselves. Interaction with peers. One of the other things is continuing education. So we can learn from each other in that way. And one of the seminars that we're doing tomorrow with Professor Sweet is dealing with ethics, which is important because that's one of the building foundations for engineering, because you will know that engineers exist in so many different spheres. Our knowledge as the career grows, it will go into administration, finance, public relations, communications, industrial relations, political science, because we do have some engineers in parliament, right? So that sort of enrichment takes place in that way, and it begins with the social interaction. So we want to make sure engineers get social, but then we want you outside as well.
Of course.
Right? So it's very important that we highlight that. And the Tobago chapter Very important to us because they only came into being a few years ago. Very important for Tobago to be represented differently because they are a very different area, so that their needs are going to be different. So they are working with Engineer Lacey. He is going to be dealing with the testing, and it's a very important thing. You know, we always arguing about the condition of roads.
Of course.
So it's a hot topic. So we like to try to cover hot topics as best as we could that the public will have an interest in. So sometimes when you're out there, you can see and understand what's happening, get a better indication of you know, how I should really tolerate this as things try to find its way to a solution. So we also want to encourage engineers to also do their mentorship. Okay. This is a big appeal because our mentorship has been growing, and that's another way that engineers grow themselves. In the association, mentorship begins at the beginning, and then later on it comes full circle when the person who was mentored can also mentor, right? And so that is happening at the UE and UTT. And this is part of the reason why the going out to schools becomes important, because that mentorship begins there to encourage the student into this pathway. So Bishop's Trinity East is where we go into on Thursday. The difference with that talk is going to be a bit of entrepreneurship, because engineering can be a business. It can be that direction of growth for anybody, because it is a pathway that you can either work, or you can be self-employed, or you can grow your own business. The nature of the skill set is that great. And we want to make sure people understand the versatility that exists in the career.
Definitely a lot of versatility, and I love the fact that you've mentioned that this is the pathway to so many different facets of the community. And also, from what I'm hearing as well, it's a great community where you'll come together and give back as well and spend that time building one another up, which I love about your association. But one of the things I would love to know is, with your association, does it cover all fields of engineering, or is it just specifically dedicated to perhaps one portion?
No. What we try to do with the umbrella is we have 4 divisions. We have mechanical, electrical, chemical, and civil. And while as a country we are small, we could only capture a certain amount, there's a way that we will align persons coming in under one of those divisions. So you can participate and you can contribute. You just need to reach out to us and we'll work with you to find your place.
Wonderful. And how many members would you say you guys have right now?
We're currently at around 700 members and growing, growing really, really well. I mean, every month we have different interests, and we have people coming on board as they graduate. So graduate engineers, we're looking forward to seeing them, mentoring them, growing them into an enriching career.
Wonderful. And tell me something, how would you say engineers can help to contribute and bolster the quality of engineering today in Trinidad?
Again, we come back to mentorship and teaching. Truth is, as long as you are functioning in a responsible, ethical way, that contribution even goes into society as an engineer. And this is how large the impact can be, because we can set a significant example just in the way we carry about ourselves, in the way that we carry about business, in the way that we interact with the public. It says a lot about how significant and so huge an impact the engineering fraternity can have. Definitely. And has had.
And has had. I was about to say as well, most definitely. Ezekiel, tell us, where can we get more information about APETT and eWeek?
Sure, you can always email the APETT office. That's office@apett.org. Or you can reach out to us via the number. It should be available on the screen there. If not, you can always give you the number very shortly. But at the same time, you can also check out our social media page. It's very, very active. We're always willing to talk with you. That's either the APETT social media page on Facebook or LinkedIn, or the APETT Tobago chapter that's available on Facebook and Instagram as well. So there are many avenues, many different places that you can actually get the information from, and we're always happy to assist you.
Wonderful. So before we go, can you share the telephone contact with us?
Yes, 627-6639, I believe.
627-6639.
But you get it on the website. It's always there. We have access easily there. We are very active in responding on Facebook. A lot of queries do come through Facebook because it is the age of social media. So we respond fairly quickly with that. And, when we do, people are happy to hear from us. Sometimes even the public reaches out, and even with general queries, because stakeholder consultation is part of where APETT resides. People often try to figure out what is APETT doing. Sometimes at a national level, participation in terms of that's total stakeholder consultation, joint select committees, these kind of things. We find the correct subject matter expert to present in a particular sphere.
Wonderful. Well, looking forward to seeing what eWeek is going to be offering here in Trinidad and Tobago and what's going to come in the years, because I mean from 1951 to now it means that it's just going to keep on growing. Thank you so much for being with us in studio this morning, Ian Cox, Vice President, Ezekiel York, PRO for APETT.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you so
It's a pleasure. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have Shamla with Unique, Not Different.